Alright guys, let's rock and roll. This is Ak47 6868. I'm bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay with commentary. This is something a little bit special today. I'm going to be playing Domination on the map Hazard, using the Ak47 with dual mags as my primary, the Strela as my secondary, and my perks are Flak Jacket, Hardened, Marathon, and my equipment is decoy grenades, frag grenades, and claymores, and my kill streaks are Spy Plane, Blackbird, and Attack Dogs. This is actually one of my best games I have ever had, if not the best. It's not my highest KD, but it is definitely my highest positive kills over deaths, and I'm not gonna, well, it doesn't matter. I go 40-3, so extremely good. I hate this map. This map is the worst map ever created. It's just everybody spawns and everybody wants to snipe, and suddenly everyone thinks they're a pro sniper, and it gets really annoying. And sometimes I have trouble even just running around, and I just get screwed no matter what I try. And so I really hate this map. But this was a really good game, and I've been holding on to this game for a while. But now it's yours to see. It's gonna be really good. And I'm not really going to do a lot of camping. I'm definitely going to camp some, especially when I get my Blackbird and I'm trying to pick up the dogs. And I do kind of just hang back and wait for some people to come towards me, just because I don't want to jump out in the middle and get sniped like always happens on this map. I'm really curious to find out how other people feel about Hazard. Let me know how you feel. I guess it was a World at War map, but I've never played World at War, so I'm not familiar with it before. But just ever since it came out, I hated it, and half the time when it comes on, I'll just quit because I hate this map so much. But this video is going to be a personal story video, which is a series I started. A lot of other people do them, and my friend told me maybe give it a try, see if maybe it'll get people to connect with you better, let them know who you are better. And the first two had pretty good response. And so I'm gonna keep trying to do them. They're harder to do though, just because it's about my personal life, and it's harder to come up with stories, maybe because I'm not real exciting. But I got a couple that I can maybe come up with. But I did the first one, Bondage Night, and the second one I try to make it something a little bit different. This one's gonna be a little bit different too, and I just kind of want them to not all be the same types of stories, like, oh, I got drunk, or whatever. So anyways, this story is actually from when I was in high school, and I think it was either my senior or senior year, and this lady who worked at our school was there to help for people who wanted to go to college, and I kind of wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I didn't know anything about her, but I guess they made everyone go see her at least once, and so I had to go see her. And she's like, oh, what are you thinking about college? And I was like, well, I don't know, I'm kind of iffy on what I want to do exactly, because I had no point, I had no clue what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I still probably don't know what I would really like to do. But at that point, I was even less sure what I wanted to do. And so she's like, well, it never hurts just to have some volunteering time on your resume. If you apply, then you'll have this volunteering time to put on your resume, and it always looks good. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't mind just volunteering anyways, either way. And so she's like, well, we have this wheelchair camp coming up, and we need some people to come. And I said, sure. It was actually about an hour from where I lived, but she would bring a van and pick up people in the school districts to go, because I lived in a real rural area, and we were kind of way out of the way. And so there was 4 or 5 of us who were doing it. I can't remember exactly. And what had happened was, before this whole camp took place, we had to go in for training, and we all had to go around in a wheelchair just to kind of get a feel for it. And then we had to practice, moving each other, and it's hard to explain exactly, but just kind of sensitivity training on how to react with the people, and how to treat them, and just to make sure it's for fun. They didn't want us offending anyone, and making sure we knew how to handle everyone's special needs. And basically what the deal was is, it was a sports camp, and there'd be different activities going on every day, and it wasn't overnight, it was just during the day. So there'd be different activities going on, and we were pretty much just counselors, and every counselor had their own I don't really want to say child, because you know they were mostly teenagers. So you know they had their own camper. That's what I would say, camper. And your job was just to make sure they got where they had to go. You know, help them with whatever they needed help with. And you know, it was a good time. And I can't remember everything we did. I know one day I think there was basketball, and there was this obstacle course thing, and that was pretty cool. And there was tennis. And so, anyways, there was 4 days, I think, and then the 4th day though was like Saturday, and all the families could come and they spent the night. But they didn't really want the counselors as much there on that day, so it was just basically the 3 days for the counselors. And so you get there, you know, and they give you a camper. And so then on the 3rd day, which I think the problem with this 3rd day is that things just weren't really organized. They didn't really know what was going on exactly, just because of we all walked to a school, and it was like track and field day, kind of like, and you know, just doing different track and field events all morning until the afternoon. And you know, and then we had lunch in their lunchroom. And so we have our lunch and everything, and then you know, I won't get into specifics, but my camper needed to use the restroom, and for certain reasons it takes him a long time to use the restroom. And so, you know, whatever, I'm just hanging out while he's going. And so he gets done, and this is the worst part. This is pretty much the funny part, the worst part of the whole story, just because, you know, like I said, I was a junior or senior in high school, so I'm only like 17 or 18 years old. And we get out. Not that I was in the restroom I was in the restroom, but I wasn't with him, if you get what I'm saying. I was just waiting. And so we get out, and there's just nobody there. The whole place is empty. And I just started freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my god, everyone's gone. And the problem, I think, was that after lunch, some people were going back to the place where we had the camp, and they were doing different events, and some people were getting on buses and going to another place and going swimming, and they didn't really have any system of knowing who was doing what. So I don't think they kept track of anyone, and so I don't think anyone had even noticed that we weren't with anyone, because, like I said, they weren't keeping track of who was going on the bus and who was walking back. And you know, I'm in a strange place where I don't really know, and I'm only a teenager. You know, I'm an older teenager, but I'm still only a teenager, and I really don't know what I'm doing. And you know, I was scared, and I don't know what people are gonna think if they know we're gone, or you know, if I'm in trouble or what's going on. And so I'm just like freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, we gotta get back. And luckily, you know, I think the place we went to wasn't real far away, and it was a pretty easy route, because I did know how to get back. I don't remember now, but I remember that I knew how to get back. So I'm freaking out, and like, you know, my adrenaline's rushing, and I'm like, man, we just got to get back, because I don't know what, you know, I don't know if they're going to be looking for us or what's going to happen. So I'm pushing him, and you know, obviously, like I said, since I'm panicking, I'm in a hurry. And I guess this is kind of the climax of the story, and it's also kind of, you know, it's bad, but looking back on it, it's kind of funny. And I've only told this story to maybe 1 or 2 other people, so they thought it was funny, and maybe you'll think it's funny, I don't know. But so we're going, I'm pushing him fast, you know, and we're going on the sidewalk, and then we go into, like, where the sidewalk goes into the street, and it's always got that little dip where the sidewalk dips. And so I'm pushing him fast, we hit that, and and his wheelchair flips over, and he just like flies out. And I'm like, oh my god, I just totally pushed this kid on the ground. And I'm like, then I'm freaking out even worse. I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? And luckily though, you know, he didn't get hurt, or if he was hurt or anything, he didn't say anything. And I did manage to pick him back up and put him back in the chair. And basically, we did make it back. We get back, and nobody even notices we're gone. And I'm like, oh my god, all this, and nobody even knew. You know, we just stroll up, nobody cared, nobody knew anything. And so then basically we just walked over and they had these guys who came in and volunteered some time, and they had some really nice remote control cars, and you know, some of us were just watching, some were participating, and it ended up being a good day. Nobody ever knew anything, and but now you know my story of the wheelchair camp, kind of a secret, you know, not that it's a big secret, just I never really told anyone. And you know, let me know what you think of this story, and let me know what you think of this gameplay. I mean, I think it was amazing. I think I did really well. You could see that I didn't quite get my dogs the second time. I thought it was going to happen. I thought for sure this was going to be the game, but those guys flashed me and they got me, so not much I can do there. But if you could rate this video and leave me a comment, I would really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. And just right here at the end, oh, let me tell you the score real quick. We won. I got the highest score, MVP, 43-3. And I'm going to have links right here to past videos. The top one is a personal story bondage night, and the bottom one is a personal story the night before my wedding. If you'd like to check either of those out, just click on it, and thank you for watching.